election the year before, and we're talking about where there's a baying for blood in terms of people who did certain things. It's interesting because I was just telling Dennis earlier on that I had a privilege of doing some work at the International Criminal Tribunal for Rwanda in Arusha, and we sat in those sessions and listened to the things that actually happened in Rwanda, testimony that was given. But you know what? The people who did the slashing of throats and all of those things were never on the dock. It was the people who paid. It was the people who gave direction. It was the people. Those were the people then who were essentially sitting in those boxes, who were telling the court what they did.
Yes,
it was those people who were held to account.
Yes.
So here it is, and these people might kill, maim, injure, but the people who will be brought to account are essentially leaders.
Yes.
So how can we be having conversations towards, you need to be really careful about who you choose to be your leader, because you could get to this place. How do we shift the conversation to say, it can be great, like you talk about the sloganeering and all of that, but who are you selecting? Because they have a potential of sending things down the slippery slope.
You know, right now people are charged up and people are very emotional. So you're right, we kind of need a reset, because you're actually right. When you look at the International Tribunal for Rwanda, if you look at the ICC cases, it's this with the highest responsibility. Now, if you look at where we are in terms of the digital age, unlike before, there is so much evidence that is being collected. There are non-governmental organizations. Is it Haki and Ukweli and all these different organizations that are actually collecting this data. You have been captured, for example, in Homa Bay, speaking in your native language, inciting people. Fine, the system maybe will entertain you, but when the slippery slope starts, that's evidence that has already been logged into the internet that is not going anywhere. For perpetuity, it's going to be there. So who says that if you find yourself in a tribunal or you find yourself at the ICC, you're already building a case against yourself by how you're behaving. Now let's switch a bit and talk about the voters. A lot of civic education needs to be done. Not enough civic education in Kenya has been done, where people are able to relate actions of politicians and the higher-ups with their actual situation on the ground. I saw somebody saying that if you look at, for example, those advocating for a particular political party, they're actually the ones who have suffered the most economically from the actions of that political party. But they are not able to relate because, people also, because of the nature of the economy, are on survival mode. Many of these people are not actually bad people. They are actually people maybe who are frustrated, are looking for daily bread. So they are told, I remember, for example, the Olkalau. There was a group of young men who had been accosted. They were goons, had been hired and came into Olkalau. And they were accosted and they were being asked, like, what are you doing here? Who paid you? And, most of them were like, I was paid by so-and-so. We were just told, let's go and do this. So for them, when you look at them, the 500 shillings, the 1,000 shillings, it's not that they're actually bad people. They are just desperate people. So many of these young goons and young people are actually just desperate people trying to earn a living. Now, so now we need to do some civic education. Like, first of all, you're in this predicament because of these politicians. Secondly, there's a better way to do this. Don't worry about just today. Worry about the long term.
Because they don't really care about you. Once your job is done, like this fella.
Yes.
This is truly, once your job is done, these guys don't care.
Yes, they
about
don't.
You.
They don't even know them. I'm sure like that goon now who's in the paper, some of them are knowing his name today. But they were on the payroll. He just gave money to his PA and maybe said, go pay them. He doesn't know the actual person's